Hey guys, it's Mike with another Gilded Guardian Spotlight video. We're going to take a look at Palmera today. She's a Hydra Strength Keeper Warrior, and she has been carrying my team on the free-to-play. Her and Tuskrog are doing a lot of work for me. So I'd say we're kind of probably approaching the mid-game now. We're on day 25 and we're still using her. So she does pretty well. So we got her outfitted with all the same gear that I've been using. We're at power level 524, so it's a little bit weak, but some of these do match her affinity, which is why she's a little bit ahead of some of the other epics we've been running. We do have extra attack on the crossbow, and then she's in defense boots. Now, because she is primarily a damage dealer, I would ideally have her in attack boots, depending on how squishy she was and how fast she was dying. But ideally, that extra attack is going to give her AoE ability a lot more power, and be able to get through a little more of those waves. So let's take a quick peek at her skills. Her ultimate ability is an AoE attack, just meaning it hits everybody, and it is called Snowstorm. To reduce the movement speed of all combatants by 25% except for Palmera. Target all enemies and deal 170% of attack as physical damage, reducing their movement speed by 25% for 8 seconds. Also remove all enemy attack speed buffs. So she's going to slow the enemy down, but she is going to do this 170% of attack as physical damage, and we've got it decked out to 240%. So she actually hits pretty hard with this ability. It is directional, so depending on which way she's facing, she may or may not hit every enemy, which can be kind of unfortunate. Her second ability is Wrath of Frost. Target a random enemy, deal 175% of attack as physical damage, and reduce their attack speed by 10% for 8 seconds. For each 1% reduction in attack speed, damage they receive increases by 2%. This effect can be stacked and will refresh the duration when reapplied. So this is kind of an interesting ability. I didn't realize it had all this stuff with speed on it, bringing the attack speed down and then also receiving extra damage. So that's kind of a cool aspect to her game, or her kit as well. Her passive is Armor of Ice, and every 20 seconds gain the ability to negate a single negative effect. So that's 20 seconds is a pretty long time. I'd say it'd be a pretty rare situation where you're in a battle for 20 seconds. So I don't know how frequently this actually is going to do anything for her. But in those longer battles, removing a negative effect or avoiding one is going to be helpful, I guess. So, but I don't know that's going to do a lot of work for us. But let's go ahead and grab her. We're going to take her on into the Great Forge. Alright, so we are heading into that first room of the Great Forge. She is positive affinity here, and the gear matched her a little bit compared to some of the other champions. So we'll keep that in mind. We're going to go ahead and hit go, and we're going to take it off 2 times, which we're already there, and we're going to see how she does. So her basic attack seems to be one-shotting people. This is her AoE ability, and she took them all out in 1 hit. So that's pretty impressive, especially considering she does not have attack boots on. We're going to limit the stuns we take. Alright. Because that would actually increase her damage pretty dramatically if we got those attack boots on her. So she does not have any healing in her kit, so she will be accumulating damage this entire time. So we'll see if she can stay alive. But she seems to be doing quite a bit of damage with her basic, at least a single target, but this might wipe this room clean. So it missed this enemy completely, so she was kind of facing this direction, and her AoE did miss that back corner enemy, but all the other 3 were wiped out in 1 shot, so that's pretty good. Alright, so we're moving on to the boss fight here. I think we did get fortunate not to get that stun ability. When you're a single champion going into a battle with stuns is pretty rough. I think it got Doro in the previous video. I think it got a couple others along the way. But she seems like she's going to make it through here without a problem, as long as she can get to her ultimate ability and it hits everybody. So it looks like she's facing the right way and one-shot that entire room. So she does a sneaky amount of damage with that AoE ability. As long as she is facing a direction where it hits everybody, it does a great work. Ideally, you would build her with a lot more crit rate than I have on her. I think if we look at those pieces, The crit rate that I have and crit damage is pretty minimal. This is my first go round on the tier 6 gear, so I'm just trying to get a full set. I'm not being super picky about what it is yet. But if we take a look here, evade, terra resist, magic resist, crit defense, evade, armor penetration is going to be helpful. Yeah, so she doesn't have any extra crit rate on any of this gear, as well as any crit damage. So I think that would be a huge win for her, getting some more crits, just because of the damage output she does. If we do jump over to the marketplace, take a quick peek at Palmera. This is a basic bare bones Palmera here in Light and level 3. You can see that she's kind of trending downward. I think this is partly due to the fact that the GOG tokens have changed the price of the Ascension seals in game, and because of that, it brought the prices down just because the value was lower. Apparently I'm still dealing with bad internet here because this is trying to load or figure itself out. Alright, so we can see here that her price is about $2.17, and then it jumps up to $2.35 depending on who's selling her. But at this time, that's about where she's at. So if we compare that to the Ascension Scrolls required, she requires 36 Ascension Scrolls. So if we're looking at approximately 7 cents per scroll, that's going to be $2, right around probably $2.20, $2.30. So selling at $2.17, I think you're actually losing money right now with Palmera. So that's kind of an interesting deal. Sometimes people do have excess copies of champions and they're just looking to offload them. I'm not sure how those seals came to be. Maybe it was a free-to-play player that got them for free and is not worried about the break-even price. So that's an interesting dynamic as well. As those Ascension seals enter into free-to-play accounts, we could very well see price drops in the common champions or core 1 champions that are in the game. So something to keep in mind as we move forward. But that's what I got for you on Palmera. I think she's a great champ, specifically early and mid game. Like I said, on the free to play, she's been doing a lot of damage for me. Should I keep her up front with Tuskrog? She would be a front row damage dealer as a warrior. She's going to charge into battle. And then you can back her up with some back row damage dealers and support for healing, such as a Flix or an Aquirus. But she does do a good amount of damage for you up front. So hope you guys found that interesting. If you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, please do so. It means the world to me. We are trying to get to 500 subscribers, where we will be giving away an NFT character to one of those subscribers. So I really look forward to doing that, and hopefully sooner than later. And I look forward to seeing you next time.